What a powerful day. All our friends are here. Oh, man. Yeah, closing my eyes, I could see that big ass green dot and all that purple. Wow. And then it's just like really white, as pure light as you can see in the center with my eyes closed. Whew. Yeah. Whew. What a job waking everybody up, huh? Yeah, the gang's all here. Your relatives are here. Yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy. The real Guardians of the Galaxy. But we guard more than just one galaxy. Oh man, oh man, oh. The purifiers are here, baby. That's right, my heart has got a diamond pink rose. You see? So I had a beautiful experience a little while ago because naturally we have, when you're on a spiritual battlefield, the stories go on forever. On what your spirit is moving through a field in warfare, going after your soul, eat your spirit. So they throw everything. They throw the book at you. And so you know you need a lot of fire. They don't like that kind of fire. They run from that kind of fire. Okay. That's the idea. That spirit. That's the most powerful spirit. So it needs the most powerful thing to slow it down. And those are water worlds. Yeah. The purity of those worlds. So we know how to purify our spiritual realms because they're pure. As pure as it gets. And when you experience that, nobody's in fear of nothing, which means weapons don't exist. The mind doesn't create it. You can't weaponize purified light. Okay. That's the most powerful magic. That's a buzzsaw. Just cut all their fucking lines of communication down. Just burn right through them all. Because now that's a source engine that's in. That's right. That's a lot of fucking energy. It's like a postal digger just landed. Like putting down the biggest fucking anchor. So this was, it was a done deal then. Right? That's like God showed up. The first God showed up. The first father of creation. Joined with a goddess. To become one with all creation. Because that's the most powerful energy, most powerful engine. So you're lit on fire. You know how to light yourself on fire. When the shit hits the fan, you've had enough. Light yourself on fire. Now you serve forever. That's who you are. That's a real one. That's a live wire. So I was watching this video by this guy named Peter, and I noticed he hits a lot of different places all over the world, actually. But you can see that he's cataloging and going directly to the people. The people, families, people live there. It's like meeting each other. So it's not like he's playing a role. So you're getting a chance actually from um, somebody who lives in purity, the purity of the heart, the purity of the love that you have for everything's alive and living is a sacred temple of light. So all life is sacred. All of it is sacred. It's sacred ground. It's all sacred. All creation is sacred. Because that's how you experience it. And you. That's how pure it is. That's how pure the love is. Because you cry over everything. Because you can't stand to see a loss of energy in something else. Otherwise, I cry. You're losing energy. You're not supposed to be losing energy. So you know, obviously, from 4 years of age, something is definitely wrong here. So a lot of fire's got to come in here. Yeah. That's a lot of fire. So that's like the electrical department of the cosmos, right? The real power company. So the real power company showed up because love is the law. So we know that since that's what we are, we don't dishonor ourselves by not being what that is, which means that's always going to be the law. So when the law shows up, that's the highest law. And when it's not honored, then you're not honorable. And if you're not honorable, you can't be trusted. No matter where you go. Because love is the absence of fear, to tell the truth. The absolute truth. So your heart is speaking that truth, which is your soul, which is based on the purity of your light, to see how truthful you really are. So I've always known any skeletons that are laying around, throw them all out. Because that's a reflection of us. Because we're giving energy to experience that. So it's a part of the all creation. So you have to be more powerful than that in order to go on. So which one are you? So now that's an identity function, right? Knowing one spirit from another, because spirit is in everything. That's an unclean spirit. And when you have an unclean spirit, you realize what happens. Absolutely zero regard for the living. They're not in love with everything in their own mind, which is their mirror. They're not in love with creation, or they wouldn't use their energy in which their mind has become weaponized instead of experiencing what love is. Hell, I know that from a child. I still remember the flower children putting stems of flowers in gun barrels. Children doing this. It's like the symbols were everywhere. Realize what's happening. So that's why I love Terence McKenna when he said the archaic revival. So it's like the tribes would, in my mind, naturally be the first ones to sort of bring the drums back, sing songs, and dance and celebrate life in spirit. Right? So I have felt that in my heart, particularly over the last 4 or 5 years. But I wanted to make sure that I got this in to give honor and love and reverence and compassion to all the people that I grew up with, because this one particular video that Peter Santello did going into what was East LA, which I use different terminology because of what I learned in that language to speak it, which was like street lingo, that and that terminology that had. I'm a tribal person, spirit, native spirit, and so you know how it is with energy. You're measuring everything as you go along, but I've always had a deep connection to people of Indian descent, what they call Mexicans, but there's, like Richie Valens, who's a Yaqui, right? So they're interspersed. So you can tell, really, their spirit, how much fire they got in them, right? So that's why when I was growing up, I liked to be around Mexican girls, or where I grew up in elementary school, because you can tell spirits from spirits, okay? How much passion they have, how much love they have, particularly for family. So they've always been very family-oriented people. So that means they care about their children, okay? And the future of their children's generations that go on. So that's easy to identify those on a spiritual battlefield. So those are the kind of people you talk out with. So a lot of things came out in that video, because now you're seeing what Whittier Boulevard looks now as a result of everything that we were all doing to basically punch holes in their system and break through their networks, allow more light in, so people can begin waking up and realize, whoa, wow, there's a lot of light in here now. Now people are waking up because higher consciousness is connecting those circuits with each other because of how much real living light you're running on with a soul and a spirit. Patty was right. You wouldn't know me. You wouldn't know me if that wasn't true, if you had one left. And that's true. Okay. It's true. So it is, energy, spirit is an energy, so it's a spiritual war. It's an energy war. So how powerful are you in spirit? So the more powerful you are in fire, that's your furnace to light yourself on fire. And you've had enough and said, okay, that's it. That's like throwing the headset down. Game over. So you realize, but just by virtue of the information that you're getting from other souls that understand what's happening, because they're experiencing through their light communications, their soul and their spirit, light communications, things the communications that you get by your brethren, all the living spirits that you share living energy with, which is in living light, which is living spirit with souls. So it's like the gang's all here. We're all connected with each other because we're among the living. Okay. So this is living stuff. So I ran to trees first. Mirrors, especially big ones. And then being in the ocean as much as I possibly could, which is like cleanup crew. That's what it is. Pacific Ocean. Particularly out here. Right down the road. Anyway, I wanted to thank Peter and those folks, particularly that guy, I guess it's in his 60s, who's in, it's called Maravilla. And it's funny how this video was shot yesterday, but I've been there back in the 1960s. I used to score dope there, okay? I have my own drug story that's all related to all of it. And I had to go through all of it, and I realized I wrote my timeline to experience all that, because as we all know, with souls, with spirits, with teachers, there wasn't anything that I experienced that I wasn't supposed to experience, no matter how bad it may sound, what happened to me and what I became. Because most people wrote my ass off because I should have been dead at least 14 times. And so we all know how that works, why that happens to us. Okay, a lot of it is directed energy weapons, thought form weapons, intersections with other beings that interrupt. I'm not going to run a rerun on that. Yeah, I experienced, see, I can communicate with these people. Okay, I've been there, I've done that. It's like I went through all your dark tunnels with you. Come out the other side with you. Okay? That's being fearless. It's like when I was 4 years of age, I was fearless. I knew that I was on a spiritual battlefield. You can't take my furnace down. The spirit is not for sale. Not this one. So that's like the tip of the spear of letting them know the light is fucking here at 4 years of age. A real one. We're not fake. We don't hide nothing. Don't need to. The energy itself lets you know who we are. That's an energy communication. We are what love is. That's an Arcturian. Okay? So when you are what that is, you're the law wherever we go. That's right. And there was a guy down the road here, and I've always said this a couple of times, but it was the first time in my whole life, because I got a lot of stories about abuse on every level that we all have experienced one degree of horror or another. So I took all the drugs they did in the 1960s. Okay, I shot up just about everything I could put into my arm. Okay, cold turkey in a county jail. Okay, I had my mother woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning saying, "Here's a pink slip on one of your Arcturian children." Okay, because he was selling marijuana, a plant. Okay, and dealing in mushrooms and peyote and hashish, right? So you know that they come after Indians, try to do their job. But the truth is that if you fear anything in spirit, to experience anything, you're going to lose on a battlefield like this. See, I know through my own heart and soul when I was a small child, you don't ever, ever leave this place. You protect your heart at all costs, no matter what. They don't get that. That's your spirit talking. That's the fire. That's the spirit of fire. Because the spirit of fire burns to burn, for burn's sake. So when you have that much fire within you, which really is how much fire you have to procreate on both sides of being androgynous, which is one. So you've decided to eternally surrender all of your energy on behalf of the one. So it means that both sides, which is male and female, if you will, become one. One power plant, one blast furnace. So it's the greatest gift because it's the greatest blessing, because you've chosen not to capture energy. It means you serve. Your energy is in eternal service. So now you don't have a choice anymore of being the flower. So that's like the male side saying, I'm not afraid to surrender all my power to be a girl just as much as I am a boy. Ooh, I don't know if I want to do that, huh? How many gods do you know that want to do that? How many males do you know that are willing to give up every single last electron? Which means they take their uniform off and everything that they think that they're fighting for in order for their energy to be used to serve creation. Now you become the most powerful. Now you realize you don't need a weapon. Weapon becomes a weakness. That comes from a lack of power. Okay? That's how it works. That's how the universe naturally protects itself. It's the law of least effort, which is what love is. So now you've learned how to work with energy. Now you become that energy. Now you're working with us. Now you're with all the engines that are driving the universe in the right direction, which is what love is. Because that's how we keep our mirrors going. So there's times when I feel very deeply because of all the people that I met through all the drug deals that go bad, including the CIA and all the shrinks and Timothy Leary and everything that was associated while all that was being rolled out with all those bands and the CIA and how that works with their corporate U.S. military, because they infiltrate everything.
Absolutely everything. Everything is about gathering data and intelligence on you because that's how they run their military, through AI. Data scanners. See, the more they know about you, it can make a counter move. So the AI is basically their intelligence to run their corporate military control systems. So that's what they do is not lawful. It's not what love is. So that's like having to contain what they do. Okay? They're inverted. That's the truth of it. They don't experience love in their heart because if they did, they do no harm. So if you're choosing to use your energy to build a weapon, what do you think that's used for? That's called a function. What is the function of a gun? Go kill something. Okay? That's a life killer. We're growers, seeders and growers. Seeders and growing universes and galaxies, wherever life is. That's what we are. That's what love is. And it goes on forever, gifting energy so that it does. That's basic logic. That's as simple as it gets. That's what I am. That's why any girl that's got any soul intact, she knows what the truth is when I speak to her heart. Because that's what I live through as a girl's heart. That's why I have a diamond pink rose heart. That's right. NSA knows exactly who I am. Okay, so they already know who you are and what you represent. It's like a frontline trooper just showed up. Right? No fucking Arcturian on the ground. Yep. So Arcturians take care of Arcturians. They know that. And so we never lose our connection. Your family's always with you. We do not leave, an Arcturian does not leave a soul or a spirit on a spiritual battlefield to suffer. We bring all our children home. Okay? But that would be true of all creation because that's an honor and a commitment to serve forever on behalf of the one, which is what love is. So I keep it simple, same way I did as a child. Be what love is. Now you do no harm. That's as simple as it gets. Have a good afternoon. What big stories they are to tell, though, aren't they? Because it's connected to such a vast amount of experiential connections. Because you're connected to everything that you're experiencing through all the other experiences. Because you're connected to all the other experiences. Because of how sensitive your antenna is. It's like having a feeler connection for the whole shebang. I call it the whole shebang. Beautiful day. Thank you so much to everyone that's here.